So imagine you could bypass like thousands of dollars in proprietary hardware and software just to peer inside a tiny piece of silicon and see exactly what it's thinking.
Right, which is usually impossible for most people.
Exactly. Well, that's our mission for you today in this deep dive. We are unpacking the version 4.0 release of Regmon-RE. And I mean, it is fundamentally changing how we interact with hardware.
Yeah, it really is a massive shift in accessibility. Because for anyone dealing with ARM microcontrollers, like the standard STM32 chips you find in basically everything, Regmon-RE acts as this completely free, open source reverse engineering workbench.
And it just runs on a standard Linux or FreeBSD system.
Exactly. It's super lightweight.
Right, and it's reading live silicon data. So like registers, bit fields, flash memory. It's honestly like attaching a multi-million-dollar medical MRI machine to a $2 chip. But, you're doing it with a really cheap off-the-shelf probe.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And the real trick is how it reads that data.
Yeah.
Right? Because staring at raw hex codes is just a massive barrier for beginners. It's tough.
Oh, totally. Nobody wants a giant wall of raw text dumped on their screen.
Right. So this is where the built-in AI layer comes in.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't just passively stream data. It actively cross-references those live memory addresses against a known database of hardware behavior.
Okay, wait. Let's look at a practical scenario. Like, say you are building a robotics project and one of your motors just mysteriously stops working out of nowhere.
Yeah, so in a traditional setup, you'd pull the raw hex data, crack open a 900-page PDF manual, and basically spend hours trying to decode what went wrong.
Which is just brutal.
It is. But with Regmon-RE, the AI translates that data on the fly. It maps the hex to the execution context and essentially tells you, hey, timer 2 just overflowed and caused a fault.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you get a practical, plain English explanation of what the program is doing live.
Which is incredible. But historically, just getting to that point, like building the software that lets you talk to the chip in the first place, that's incredibly tedious.
Yeah, notoriously difficult.
Right. Setting up the SWD daemon, which is essentially the hardware translator between your PC and the chip. I mean, that usually involves digging through version control systems like Fossil, tweaking obscure config files, and just crossing your fingers that you didn't miss a dependency.
Definitely. Yeah. But version 4.0 completely tackles that setup barrier. It hands the entire configuration process over to an AI agent.
That's the part that blows my mind.
I know. The contrast between this automated method and the old manual setup is, well, it's night and day. It boils down to this brilliantly simple 5-step workflow. First, you install a free AI agent called Opencode with just a single command.
Nice and easy.
Yep. Then second, you grab an API key for a cheap or even free AI model, like DeepSeek or OpenRouter work perfectly for this.
Got it. And step 3 is just linking Opencode to that AI account, right? Which takes what, maybe 2 minutes?
Exactly. 2 minutes tops. Then fourth, you download one single repository file from GitHub. And finally, the 5th step, you just type a conversational command telling the AI to read the install file and do it.
Okay, I have to pause you there because the mechanics of that sound slightly terrifying. I mean, I am taking a natural language prompt and letting an AI agent execute system-level terminal commands on my Linux machine.
I know. It sounds wild.
Like, how does it actually build directories and configure a complex daemon without completely breaking my system?
Well, it's a very valid concern, but the agent is strictly constrained by the instructions in that repository file. When it reads the setup manual, Opencode translates those natural language steps into the precise shell commands required for your specific OS.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so it checks your system dependencies, creates the necessary directories, sets up the permissions, and configures the SWD daemon all on its own.
So it's essentially avoiding all those common human setup mistakes, like, typing the wrong file path or forgetting to grant a specific permission.
Exactly. It handles all the heavy lifting for ongoing project maintenance, too. In fact, one of the biggest milestones for this 4.0 software release is that this exact AI-driven workflow was tested end-to-end in a completely isolated container.
Wait, really? Just fully automated?
Fully automated. Starting with a fresh, clean system, the AI parsed the instructions and passed every single configuration check without a single human intervention.
That is wild. The machine just builds the tool for you so you can get straight to the actual hardware hacking.
Yeah, and if you want to try this out, Regmon-RE version 4.0 is available right now.
Yeah, you can grab that setup file in the assets section over at the Techman00172 GitHub repository. Definitely check it out because, as they say, the silicon never lies. This tool just makes it a lot easier to ask the right questions.
It really does. But it also leaves you with a pretty interesting question to consider.
Oh, for sure. We're now looking at an AI agent capable of perfectly parsing a manual and configuring a complex hardware debugging suite from just a single conversational command.
Right, which is a huge leap.
So if the AI is already installing the debugger and analyzing the live silicon today, how long until it's automatically rewriting the microcontroller's firmware to fix the bugs it finds? Just something for you to ponder the next time you're trying to figure out what your hardware is thinking.